Hi everybody, my name is Kane. I was asked after my last Endless Inferno video to make sort of a guide, and that is kind of hard to do because I am not using free to acquire heroes and also units. For example, I use paid heroes and hard to acquire units. I am using Dragon Mutare for most of the stages above 70, the field wide stun and Green Dragon being able to kill those 9x units from full does come in handy, thus making a guide for people will be harder. I know for a fact that quite a few people are using Jellu as the core hero in free to play means of passing, and some have went to stage 71s. I think some do manage to reach 76-ish or 79, but I have not yet seen them completely finish it. I will ask them to record their attempts from say 66 and up, and hopefully I can do a video for my free to play Endless Inferno in the next few days. Other than that, if you're here to check for free heroes, I am sorry guys, but I will cover that video most likely later this week. That said, Dragon Mutare. This hero is probably one of the better 3 ones for PvE content such as this. The only other ones that I have seen easily pass these stages are Astral and Kilgore, but my Kilgore friend has a varied build, sometimes using Naga, Genie, Magic Airship, so I cannot say for certain how much the Kilgore has effect towards the stages. But Astral, people have told me that they can beat stages with about 1 million power disadvantage, so it is pretty similar to that of a Dragon Mutare. I think Dragon Mutare has more windows to beat the enemy though, because of all the explosive damage she can do. Before going into the matches, I will explain why I use the units that I use. Starting with Green Dragon, this is pretty much the core damage of Dragon Mutare. The emblems I use for her are the ones where she does more damage on enemies that are bleeding. The Dendroid in front of her will make the entire line bleed, as well as Dragon Mutare's ultimate will do the same. So with these, for me, she's able to one-shot 9x units just by herself in many cases, whether they are a charger or a 9x caster or ranged, unless of course that particular unit is overbuffed with health. This is though a decently upgraded Green Dragon, 6 stars, 2 stars awakened, but no potential added into it yet. Devil is probably my best unit in this formation, or rather all units. I have invested into it quite a lot and he's always the top DPS in this as well, though it is very hard to place him here and he can die very easily. It is not advised to just upgrade or level the Devil for this event, unless you have the means of placing it properly, so it would just not die. Some stages may look extremely easy with the Devil, but some others can render it pretty useless wherever he jumps. Efriti, I always use the Flame Feaster, but sometimes I use the Broiling Impact if I just need a slither of damage increase on Devil for specific PvE stages, but mostly Flame Feaster Efriti because the damage is just too good to pass out on. For my frontline, I use Dendroid and Centaur because they're both ramp or tanks that you can upgrade for free and they synergize well with the units on my own field, as well as debuff the enemy, whether it is a bleed, a slow, defense removals, and etc. They can also take a huge beating, so if people do not have these two upgraded, I would strongly advise. Manticore, after awakening, he became such an OP unit that I just don't see myself playing without it. If one unit falls that the Manticore is focusing, whether it be a tank or backline, it usually starts a chain of 20-second silences on the entire enemy field, which usually even 10 to 15 seconds is enough to kill their entire formation. Good unit to buff your own field and also a good tank killer if paired with Dendroid. They both reduce so much defensive stats from enemy tanks that even the gem tanks being overbuffed fall pretty fast. Unicorn I mainly use to buff the initial damage received on enemy, whether it be the trigger from Green Dragon on tanks if I need those tanks to die fast, or the backline if I use Devil and other chargers. It is not as good before the awakening because the skill needs to trigger. After the awakening, the skill triggers on engage, thus once it reaches the target, it will trigger and increase the damage taken on the unit. In some cases, I don't even use a healer in my formation because the unicorn makes my units explode the targets faster or provide blind that would reduce a portion of the damage, making my tank survive longer and thus me being able to do more damage. It is by far not a core unit, but if you have damage, this unit will make it a bit bigger. Dwarf, I am testing it from time to time. It does in fact make your units a lot tankier and do more damage. However, I tested it out with Xeron. This unit was a huge part of the Xeron build in Endless Inferno, and making the devil do about 80 million damage in 20 or so seconds. A lot of buffs, a lot of tankiness. However, without a field-wide stun of Dragon Mutare, this unit dies quick, and some particular enemy units explode your own tanks fairly quickly. In some cases I used it with Dragon Mutare as well, but he should have a 1x tank in front of him to nullify most of the damage that goes towards the dwarf from the spells. Otherwise, placing a dwarf in your lineup can kill the front line more than it would help it. It will be kind of hard to go through all the stages this time and cover most of them because that is a 4-hour file that this time it took me to clear the Endless Inferno because the enemy had 2 or 3 casters in the very back most of the time, kind of killing my devil if not placed properly. So every stage above 74 took more than 4 or 5 tries, some even more. I did change emblems on all of them from time to time. Also, most of these clips will be in slow mode because I am manually playing them, so you can more or less see what I am doing. As I mentioned a few times before, I cannot really edit very long videos because my program will produce low quality or low frame rate visuals. So next time, if I would comment the Endless Inferno stages, I would make a video on its own instead of explaining what I would do with these units. I am using a potato laptop, guys, what else can I say? I will have timestamps of each stage in over 74 in the description and the comments, so if you want to see particular stage where you were stuck on and how I beat it, you're free to skip towards it. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next ones.
defeated!
Shake the enemy to their core! Are you a chess piece? A chess player?
I can never be defeated!
From now on, you will obey my orders! You're a chess player.
My appearance is death manifest!
I will shake the enemy to their core!
I can never be defeated!
From now on, you will obey my orders!